not only made a face on their own, but also soiled his entire reputation and possibly career in doing so. I personally can't help but feel sorry for the bloke, to be perfectly honest. When you get involved into looking into internet drama or beef, you can't look at the situation from one angle and simply report on something with little to no evidence. You can't really jump on for views or attention because that's not the right mentality in the specific job. If you don't like us being falsely accused of something, it honestly isn't that difficult, because if you don't approve of what somebody is actually doing, you should be able to stand your ground strong enough to hold what is right above them. When you're taking moral high ground, you need to actually be above them morally. You can do your own research of things, that's perfectly fine, but you can't do a small amount of sloppy research as to try to do just to completely debunk an accusation using frame-by-frame analysis, for example. You've got to look a bit more deeply into it before calling them out and assuming that they're wrong. You've also got to make sure that you don't simply jump on something to report it simply for the fact that you don't like the creator, because you could end up making a stand against your own morals, isn't it? You can make opinionated pieces on different dramas, I guess, but if you're going to make a point, it needs to be valuable. More importantly, many of these see themselves as these great, powerful, sometimes untouchable news sources, and that's just not the case. These are human beings reporting on what other human beings are doing, and humans are more than flawed by nature. There's only a certain amount of time before you need to clamber off your high horse and admit to being wrong, or possibly get sued. As with all the people you criticize, there are consequences to what you say, there are consequences to what you do, and there are certainly people out to get you whenever you make a mistake. There's a weird ego that a lot of T-channels will actively criticize large creators for, of how the creator will think relatable creator everyone likes. Others simply don't and face consequences of controversy. Being a famous creator doesn't make you more than credible, as much as you'd probably like to think that. The audience will believe that you are, and that's why you hold the responsibility. But being a giant creator doesn't automatically mean that you've done a giant amount of research. It's just how reality functions, but along this line, having a large subscriber count next to your name will not hide the fact that you are indeed just about as intelligent as the people you criticize, if not sometimes less intelligent. And I'm sure that by this point in the video, you may have noticed the pattern of behaviour that I'm trying to show. Many T channels, certainly not only these ones, will make videos or do something to stand up against a bad person or thing, but in the process of standing up against a bad thing, they themselves do a different bad thing too. This has come to light again multiple times since I concluded the script for this video, and many of these will not hesitate for a second before saying that I do not support any on-chain laws, and especially not racism. I'm hoping that's abundantly clear in this common knowledge. But it doesn't feel right to support somebody fighting a good cause with a bad thing. I know I've been a little bit more harsh than usual in this video, and if I've caused any unnecessary anger from some people in the audience towards the people, I apologise. This is not meant to be an attack on them, because they're not the only people that have to deal with this problem. Many people in the T community do. The reason I've been pretty stern is because of the severity of the issue. This is a problem that can quite literally get you into legal trouble if you're not careful, and can wipe you off the face of the platform likewise. I'm trying to get into these people's heads how serious of a problem this is, because of the danger they put themselves in, at which they probably wouldn't realise until it's too late, because the audience is willing to dismiss this. The whole purpose of T is to report on the ongoings within the makeup of TikTok communities and look at the people in an entirely negative light. That's the only purpose of it. Commentaries are more like the mafia. I know there's a bit of a meme at this point, but it's how it is. It's a case of you can speak about anybody and give your opinion on their take, whether it's right or wrong. For me, T feels like everything's an effort to get other creators deplatformed if you simply don't like. I personally say that Kingstar's done some terrible stances and has made some terrible mistakes in the past. But I personally wouldn't say that he doesn't deserve the platform that he has, because as an individual he seems like a pretty nice guy, and it's hard to reach the position that he has done, though a lot of the things he has done are perfectly worthy of criticism. The purpose of criticism is to improve. If the individuals in this video don't improve, then that's on them. You know, I want them to do better, innit? I think every creator mentioned in this video has responded pretty poorly when they've received criticism, whether it's calling people #obsessed, leaving social media for a number of days suspiciously, or hiding a point that you made in the video from the public by cutting out specific words. Criticism is one of the only ways that we improve as human beings, in my opinion. If you call people out so much, you're going to be called out yourself in some capacity. You'll need to be fully prepared to face backlash for the stuff that you say. Just because you're criticizing other people doesn't mean you aren't flawed yourself. I mean, criticizing other people so frequently for being egotistical or doing blackface, you're giving yourself this moral superiority sometimes becomes a problem for yourself, isn't it? Well, now my beverage is getting cold, so I just want to tell you lot that there are many problematic creators in the community you will stumble across. Make sure you know who you trust and be prepared to face backlash depending on what you say. Don't shift your own morals purely to make a point, and don't go after people for completely irrational things just for clicks. And most importantly,